It's fine.
Deze is housekeeper Alex and Jeff.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I am Jeff Dawes. What is up, everybody? I hope everyone is having a blessed and great Memorial Day, and that you guys are, honoring all of our fallen soldiers and all the different people that have, made this country great. So, how's your Memorial Day there, Alex?
It's pretty good. The plan out here for just today, the weekend has been great, busy, chaotic, but great. The weekend as a family was that we were going to go fishing on my brother-in-law's boat on the lake that they live in. Right.
Okay.
And there was nothing biting today. There was nothing. We got 2 fish for like 4 hours, 5 hours. We're out there. So there was just not, it's also 8,000 degrees today, which is, I'm already over. Summer hasn't started and I'm over it. Right. Already. We're May. It's already, I'm done. I'm ready for late October. But anyway,
that's cool.
That was kind of what we did. But yeah, we had a great day.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I was at a tournament all weekend, so I'm still recovering. Today I took off at the school, so rest up some, and then we went to we just came back from watching The Mandalorian and that movie, and then we went by the gym and did a little workout, and then just got back home.
That's like an awesome day of just hanging with no responsibilities almost.
Yeah, it was. So, but I'm still exhausted. So, but
all right, I want to bring something up to you, Jeff, because I just bought something, and I know we got some guests that are going to come on later. We got topics to bring up, but I want to tell you this. So, you would not realize this so much because you don't wear shoes most of the day, right?
Okay.
You don't. No, it's a good thing. Like you don't. I wear shoes more now than I ever have, right? Because I'm not in a karate school for 10 hours of the day, right? So there's most of my day I would not have shoes, because then when you get home, you just take shoes off anyway. So I just had the shoes on for most of my day to just drive, right? Or to run errands. Like if you think about it, like why did I even have 2 pairs of shoes? Why?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, or to go to the gym. That's really what they were. So now, dude, my feet, they're starting to change because like the way shoes are, if you wear them all the time, like they change like your foot. So my toe box is like getting smaller. So I got these shoes. I think you're gonna like them. Like they're called. I just literally put them on today. They're called splays.
Okay, you got splays. Okay.
You're hip to this.
Yeah, remember we had this conversation at Diamonds a few years ago. You're like, dude, these shoes you're wearing are really cool. What are I'm like? Well, yeah, I have 0 shoes.
Now remember, yes,
mine are mine are definitely like the flatter foot, more natural, toe box. Yeah.
I don't even think you need them because you don't. You go with no shoes most of the day anyway. I need them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It
was just a funny thing. But can I bring some? I was so excited. I told you right before we stopped. I'm like, hang on, I gotta go upstairs and grab something. I want to show you this so bad. So excited about this. I want to know if you remember this soda.
I have never seen that in my life, dude.
Asian treat. You've never seen this before? Absolutely. This is so funny. This is like a dad moment to me. This is a classic, like 14-year-old would drink this soda, right? Okay. Oh my God. It's like a red soda that basically tastes like a mixture of like Hawaiian punch and then like anything else you want to throw in it. Like it's crazy, but it's like
you went to the machine and put it one in
Yeah.
each.
But it was like half of it was Hawaiian Punch, and then the other half they just filled with a bunch of stuff, right? So
Okay.
it's definitely like that. But I got it because I'm like, you know what? Summer's here. What's summer like with like grape soda and Sunkist and all those? Like when you're a kid and you had soda in the summertime, what was your soda that you were like, oh my gosh, I love this? Or that like, no, never gonna let me have that. What was that thing?
Man, thinking about soda is crazy because I haven't had
This
that in
is
so
definitely one of
long.
them.
You know, yeah, that I would say. Oh man, what's the one that we used to have down here?
That's the other thing is I know the different areas of the country.
Different areas.
Else
Yeah, right. I
I
mean,
never
for
knew
me,
about called Green River. Looks
green.
and yeah, looks and tastes disgusting. So you're not missing nothing.
Yeah, I think honestly, cream soda, like IBC cream soda, would be the one. Yeah,
The
yeah. So yeah, I think
Sunkist
that would be good.
orange,
Yeah,
Welch's grape, right?
I didn't
You were
like
a grape
those.
soda guy,
I wasn't a
dude.
big grape soda guy.
When you get like, but that's what I mean.
The
Like,
Baja Blast or Inca Cola. Okay, okay.
I've actually heard of those before.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had them. I've heard of them, but those are like classic, like kids soda. Like,
Right.
all right, clearly somebody's about to have a sugar rush and run through a tree because they're
Yeah.
so hopped up on sugar. These things do that, and that was just one of those. I was like, oh, this is gonna be
No,
so
that's a good
cool.
one. That's a good one. I mean, I always thought, like, because I was a Dr. Pepper guy, but I like Mr. Pibb, you know. And then sometimes when you wanted to get like the cheaper ones, there was like Mr. Pepper, and there would be like
That was a thing.
yeah, then Dr. Perky, I think was one. Yeah, so
Stop.
there's all the different off brands of them. Yeah, like RC Cola had like different versions of the main ones. So yeah, so it's like
I'd
cheaper.
never ever heard that before. That's so cool.
Actually, I don't know if Mr. Pepper was the thing. I think that was just what. This sounds so bad. This is what we went to this. It was just I went to the Chinese restaurant all the time, and that's what he called it, Mr. Pepper. And I didn't know if I was getting Mr. Pibb or Dr. Pepper. And every week it was a surprise. So I didn't really know.
That's pretty funny. No, I didn't. And that's the thing is we didn't get to have soda that much. Yeah, what's happening, Will?
Right. I
Glad
agree.
you popped in. We didn't get to have soda that much. So that's what, but
We
we like
didn't have it at the
summertime. It was like
That was the rule. Yeah.
there
We didn't have
wasn't a
it.
lot of supervision in the summer, so it was like if you could find it, like who's gonna say no? You're just gonna get yelled at later. So you got the rest of the day to. Well, how much basketball can you play?
Right.
So
That's pretty cool. He said that their nationals and was
dude,
sponsored by Cola. Yeah, Inca Cola. That's pretty cool.
that's pretty cool. I see, and there's like old school like candy shops around here that are like just soda and like candy, which is
Yeah.
really kind of cool. So like our kids, like we don't do the Halloween thing. So I'm like, you know what? But I don't want you guys to feel robbed. So let me go rot your teeth a little bit. Right.
Rot your teeth.
So we go to there and I'm like, hey, here's a bag, fill it with whatever you want. And they go bananas.
Bananas. Yeah. The there was actually remember I talked to you about, you know, one of the martial artists and promoters and legends in the Southeast. You know, he was there this weekend, Magic Johnson. You know, we call him Magic Johnson. His name's Jerome Johnson.
Magic
but he actually created a martial arts soda back in the day called Karate Cooler. Yeah. And I still have that sitting, like I have it somewhere. It was for years on my shelf in my room, was that I got from the Battle of Atlanta. And he was sold karate. It was like a karate sports drink, but I don't know what it was before like Gatorade was even popular. So yeah, it was called Karate Cooler.
That's pretty cool. I never knew that. I never heard of that ever.
Yeah.
Think of how much money it would take to come up with something like that. Why would someone do that? You know,
Well,
and I was thinking about this, Jeff.
He did a lot of different things though, Alex. So trying stuff like that.
And this is going to tie in to what we're going to bring up next week. There was the passing of a very good philanthropist within the sport martial arts community. Tom Kelly passed away this past week, and so our condolences to his family. But we're going to get into more about Tom's show next week, just because we got guests that are on already today. But I was really thinking about it because I was really trying to there was, I can't name names, but I was trying to help out financially, somebody. It was just going to help bless someone. And I literally was just thinking about Tom. Remember, I didn't know this about Tom. And I was literally thinking of Tom Kelly. And I'm like, think about this guy's team. He wants to do the same thing, but yet the avenue in which he wants to do that, right? He chose martial arts. The problem I think that we have sometimes is we treat those guys like Tom Kelly or Jason Chen, they're always going to be there. But then if you really don't value what this person can bring, then just like that, they're gone. And just like that, both of them were like, I think I'm done with this whole thing. And then boom,
right.
The landscape changes. He had a massive impact on it. And I really started thinking about it. And I'm like, I get it now. Why guys want to sponsor a team. I've always said it doesn't make any sense why someone would want to sponsor. What in the, you're just shedding money doing that for no reason whatsoever. It would make sense to me now to help. I still think it's backwards. I would just do kids, but that's just me.
Well, yeah, I mean, Tom was like that, was a great one. Spencer Arrington with CJB.
Oh, yeah, maybe the best.
As that, either they were involved in it, or they had a child involved in it, or they saw someone that it really connected with, or So I think we always got to give back and recognize those people. Same thing with Canelo Loveless and many different guys that hey, this is what we love doing, and we're giving back to the sport in this way. So next week,
even John Paul,
right? We want to talk about Tom a little bit more next week. So we're going to bring invite a couple people that were on his team with Full Circle to talk a little bit next week as well. After because next week I'll also be talking about Music City SmackDown in Tennessee that I'll be at as well. But we're going to bring on Stefanie and Dean in a little bit. I do want to share my crazy weekend, and it ended up being, I haven't been to the Carolina Martial Arts Open in 14 years, which is crazy. And it ended up last night, Brian Pinna, it was Brian Pinna's tournament. He said that it's going to be his last one. And of course, maybe he means for a while. He's taking a break, but this tournament has been a great, for 25 years now, been a great martial arts tournament for the Southeast. One of the last ones that still puts on a night show, consistently being one of the biggest tournaments in the Southeast every year, bringing out great competitors. And, the forms competitors from the Southeast, the fighters from the Southeast have always been legendary, right? So this weekend was crazy. And, I went down there and said, hey, this is I want to challenge myself. This tournament lets me do 18 plus and 35 plus. And so my goal was to be in 5 different grands, which I did. I won all 5 of my divisions. I went on stage and literally did fighting first, the 35 plus fighting grand. And the way that they do their grands is they do 2-round fights, but they do the 1 round in one part of the show, and then the second round, with a little bit of a gap in between. So it spreads it out a little bit, makes it a little different. I am honestly, I even wore a completely different uniform the second round.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. But we, they did the 18 plus first round. So congrats to Justice Floyd for winning that over his teammate George. And then we had the women's, which was 18 plus, Grace Watts against Sadie Maybe. And she did. Sadie won that. It was both fights were great, close battles. And then I won the 35 plus fighting grand. So I did that first round. Then I jumped in my traditional uniform, and then I did the 18 plus traditional grand, won that one. Then I did the 35 plus traditional grand, and Brett Shumway won that one, another main ganger from us. And then and this turn also we did runoffs as well. So I mean, it was a lot, right? And then I came back, put on my fighting uniform, fought the second round of that, and did that. And then we did the open style championships where, contemporary or creative. So the 18 plus of that was Drew Doss, from Tim Conkle School, Lindsay Ledford, Jack Sykes and myself. And Jack Sykes and I tied actually, and we were about to have to do it again. And I'm like, I'm about to do my form one more time. You know what? You're taking this one. He's a teammate of mine. He's going to take that one. And I went and did the 35 plus weapons grand immediately right, or forms grand immediately right after that. And which was my instructor, Johnny Watkins, one of my great friends, Kerry Goldbeck, and then my other teammate, Tim Conkle. So we had a great battle, and that's how we ended the show. And, Tim had an unfortunate weapons mishap, and I ended up taking that one. So I got 3 out of the 5 grands, runner up in the other 2. And I tell you, man, just a professional done tournament, a great job by those guys and everyone that helped with that event there. The TCT has had a great circuit the past 4 or 5 years, and continues to, that area was one of the biggest areas for a long time for the NBL, and that area has kind of held onto that and stayed great during that time. And so I always give those guys, and I'm not always able to be there, but that is still my home area for sport karate. You know what I mean? Like that would be my home area, would be the Southeast, the North Carolina, South Carolina, even though I'm in Virginia, but I go to those tournaments probably more. I was coming up, and
more than the DMV area.
Yeah, definitely, because I'm only an hour away from North Carolina. DC is like 3 hours, 3.5, 4 hours. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I mean, overall, great job. There's so many shout outs that maybe we'll get to later.
How many people would you say were there?
I'm not sure. I mean, I know he was probably in the 300s for his tournament. I know in the past, he's had some that were 400, 500. So he's, fluctuated throughout the years. But Brian's a workhorse and has always wanted to make his event a professional event. So
right,
it's pretty cool, So we'll talk more about that maybe later on. But our guests actually are already in the background right now. So
that's rocket.
Yeah, I'll give him a second. It's all good. So we want to welcome on both from Team Legend. We got Stefanie and we got Dean. How are you guys?
Hello, guys.
Hello. Great
we are glad and excited you guys are here because we didn't make it easy for you. What time is it where you're at right now?
It's 3:15 actually in the morning.
3 a.m. and you're like, I got to talk to Alex and Jeff. Hang on.
Now we figured out some things we were able to shuffle about that we have on today / tomorrow to make it a bit easier afterwards. So after this, I'll probably go and take another nap and Steffi will go to work. So yeah.
Well, tell us all who maybe might not be familiar. Where are you guys located?
I'm from Germany, originally from Germany, still living in Germany, and Dean is from Scotland and has recently moved to Germany as well.
Brilliant. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm from Edinburgh. Done all my martial arts there all my life, and I've been in Germany now for almost 2 months, which kind of makes sense. Obviously, being here in Germany with Steffi, and then also for tournaments makes it much easier. So we're able to commute to the tournaments in Europe a lot easier. For me, especially, I always had to fly. Obviously, UK is separate to the mainland Europe, so so it's much more efficient to get places, and we're able to travel together, which makes it a lot easier. And then also from when now we come to the States to save a sort of connecting and then flying, it's much easier. We can just one way and we're in the States with you guys.
Well, let's talk about that because we're always so glad and excited when we can make the martial arts world smaller in sense of like community, right? We want to go
Yep.
big as far as how far we reach, but smaller in terms of like how easily we can connect with one another. But there's definitely a difference between competitions, whether it's Western or Eastern Europe, and competitions in the States. Let me hear from you guys. What would you say that was like, okay, I knew it would be a difference. This is a little much, right? What was that for you guys?
So, I'll let you answer on your part, but I think for me, the transition was pretty seamless because I've been over a few times now, and because I'm a kicker, it makes it a lot easier. With the NASCAR 2-point body kicks and stuff, I love it. To be completely honest, like before I came over, people were always saying to me, you should definitely try it in the US. You would do really well, just purely based on fighting style. So, like most of us, I grew up doing tournaments, like local tournaments where, people can be really close to ringside, and really like get behind you, and the atmosphere is amazing. What's different to that with the tournaments in Europe and WACO is we're often either completely separated from the guys who fight when you're it's very sort of professionally run, the WACO tournaments now, because of they're obviously trying to push to get this in the Olympics and things like that. And they're doing a great job in getting it much closer. So it's things like that you have to kind of tighten up on. But for me, I love being in the US because it gives me that old school feel of like when I was a kid growing up. The tournaments, like people basically next to you on the area, like shoving you back on if you're at the edge and stuff. Like not quite as extreme as that, but yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. The excitement of it for me is amazing, and I love it. Yeah, I'll let you kind of say your part.
Yeah, it's kind of the same for me. I started off kickboxing like 23 years ago, quite a while, like the good old times back then when you didn't even have tatamis, but like measuring tape or like tape around, or just like sticked on the floor. So back in the days, it was pretty much the same as Dean mentioned. You had a lot of people around you. Everything was super busy. People were super close. But I switched to WACO like 10 or 11 years ago, and it's very clean. Like there's no one inside the arena, just the coaches, the fighters, and the referees. It was actually my fourth time competing in the States at the Pan American Internationals. The first time I fought an American competition was in 2018, quite a while back. That was the Amerikick. And I loved it. I had some struggles with the 2-point body kicks and no body jabs because personally, I don't like kicking. I only do when it's convenient or when it's necessary. And I love my body jabs. But when you compete in the same circle for a very long time, then you need to have new challenges. You need to get new input in so you can keep progressing and learning. So I really loved competing in the States in 2018. So I thought I really want to come back. I want to get the atmosphere back in because the people over here are just so friendly. They're so lovely. Everyone's so kind. It's so easy to make new friends or to get to talk to people. Yeah, I've been loving it. And the first competition for me back in the States was Amerikick, was Warrior Cup in January. And it felt a little bit uncomfortable, but I think I'm very happy and very pleased with how I got used to the American style fighting again. And I'm looking forward to the next competition already.
Yeah, I think you've definitely, you're on a run right now. You everyone saw you at AKA, and then, you had the big open weight win at Rhode Island, and then won again at Pan Am. So congrats to you. And,
Thank you.
we are super excited to just see you guys over here more. I think that's the key thing. Dean, as for you as well, like what you said your favorite things, but what's been your reaction as far as like fighting here and your results since you've been back, competing in the States?
Yes, my results as far as the States go have also been pretty strong. So I did my first one was actually King of New York. Was in we came over in 2024, right at the end of the year, and I won that. I won US Open last year, and then I've been to where did I just go? Miami. We did Pan Am's there, and I was really strong in Pan Am's. So I won the overall open weight. I won grand champion. I won teams and also my division. So,
Huge. Yeah.
yeah, it's been nice to finally sort of everything come together. It's just it's like anything. It takes a bit of time to adapt to.
100%.
It's the same when the guys who are top come from America to Waco. You have so many amazing fighters in America, but when they come over, it takes a bit of time to adjust. It's the same for us. It's vice versa. There's obviously great athletes on both sides, and like you said, Alex, to join up and make the community smaller is the goal and the aim for everybody. We want to have as much healthy competition as we can. So yeah, I think it was the same for both of us, just adapting to the American way and then or the American style of fighting. And then for the guys who come over to us, it's it's the same for those guys. It takes a bit of time, but the good ones take 6 years to a month to hit the ground running. And then boom, you just kind of take off from there, I suppose.
Yeah. So Stephanie, you said something about not really liking kicking and such. So
Yes,
that
thank
kind of works great. You guys being together and training together, being around a kicker, either to get you used to, training against that, but also maybe Dean's like, hey, I'm going to make you a better kicker. What is that like?
Yeah, we always say if you would combine Dean's legs and my hands, we would be the perfect fighter. That's great for me, especially since all of the girls are kickers. If you can deal with Dean's legs,
You're
I
right. All of
promise
them are.
you, you're set. Yeah, it makes fighting kickers for me so much easier, because if he raises his knee, chamber is like already here, like up my head. So it's very tough, but it's nice. It's actually very nice to have someone that great sparring with you all the time. And I feel like since we started training together, I got a lot better. Personally, just because you need to time your attacks so much more carefully. I can't even remember how many times you dropped me with a back kick or something, but that's what makes you better in the end. So yeah, we don't have mercy on each other when we spar, which is also a great advantage.
That's
Well,
huge.
you mentioned some things before. Both of you mentioned like the American style of fighting or point fighting. I really love this conversation, this type of dynamic, because I love to hear your perspective. We already know our perspective. I want to hear someone else's. All right?
Right.
What would you say if you could articulate that, like the American style of fighting and competition? What is that?
All right, so I have pretty strong opinions on this.
Go.
And it might
punch
no, I don't think it'll offend anybody actually, but I'm just going to say it how I see it.
Sure.
We have to think a lot more. We have longer rounds. Often the tatamis are bigger, and you have to pace yourself and be a little bit smarter over the course of a 4-minute or a 6-minute fight. So, for example, when we fight in our world championships or European championships, we fight each match is 6 minutes. So it's three
rounds, right?
Yeah, it's 3 2-minute rounds. Yeah. Whereas now, this is why I'm saying for me, I actually like it in America. I'm a kicker. Kicking takes a lot of energy. It's requires loads of high energy output. So for me, the one round, especially when you're scoring 2-point body kicks, is awesome because I don't have to think as much. I can just fight and boom, 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 and go and try and rack as many as I can quickly. Our style is much more, I would say, it's more about, I would say, timing and using the ring to your advantage. Whereas in America, the way I see it is you have to be aggressive pretty much as soon as the referee says fight. And the way the judges score in America is they definitely like the aggression. Whereas I think when you're fighting at high level tournaments in Waco, the referees are much more susceptible to counters, and often they'll actually favor the person who's countering. Whereas I think if you're the aggressor in America, you tend to get more
Get to that
scores.
point. Yeah.
Yes, because they like it's like I say, it's almost like it's more old school and tough. Like they like the contact, they like the the fight, which is great, and it's probably, you know, it's how it should be. Whereas in Waco, it's more like so America's more like a fight, I think, and Waco's more like a game. Whereas you're trying to tag your opponent with the scores. Like we can use things like the body jab, which you know, people love it or hate it. I love it, but I hate that I can't use it in America. But yeah, they're two very different styles, and I think if you can get a good balance of both, that's where you see the fighters really start to take off. The ones that go on and be great and leave their name like in the history books are the ones who manage to conquer both.
Yeah.
I don't think you could have offended anybody with what you just said.
No, I think it was great. Yeah.
Okay.
I
That's
think
good.
you were right on. And I agree with everything you said. And I think if you laid it out the way that you did, the way, like your last sentence to sum it up was, in America, it's more of a fight. In Europe, for the Waco style there, it's more of a game. I think both sides would go, yeah, we agree with that. This is what we want. We own it and accept it.
Yeah.
But you mentioned at the end there, and Stefanie, I want to hear from you. You mentioned like the greats, they'll leave their names, but there's so many fighters that you guys get to see in competitions all the time that we don't know, right? Because we don't see them. All right. There are some that we do know that maybe we don't see all the time because we know those that are winning often. Just like I'm assuming the same for you guys. Like, you know, you can't know all of the fighters that are out here in the divisions now, but you probably know a good amount. Who are some of the fighters that you guys know of that are here that you're like, okay, yeah, there's this one I really have to worry about them, or I've really always wanted to fight this person. Do you have anybody like that? Steph, I'll let you lead that one off.
Of course, we have those people. For me, when I was competing in 2018, Kitana was there. Kitana was the first person that impressed me with her style of fighting, just by the way she moves, all the spin kicks and everything she does. It's just so explosive, and I really admired her for her style of fighting because I'm very patient. I'm like not like really slow, but I like to be like just cautious when I fight, and like I don't see myself being anyway or any near as explosive as she is. So I was like, I want to fight her. I need to fight her, and someday I gotta make it happen. And I was so happy when I could finally fight her at the Ocean States. I fought her in the team event, and I fought her in the night show, and that movement is just crazy. Like, I had such a hard time getting close to her, and I loved every second of it because you don't have that type of fighters over in Europe. It was a real, like, I really enjoyed it. And of course, you see people like Katie Herman or Savannah fighting, and that like is just impressive because also that way of kicking is different. That's kind of like a round kick, front kick thing that comes from a weird angle, where in Europe people just like side round hook, maybe just like this, but like straightforward. Whereas those two, they can stand and just kick, and you got to deal with a standing leg. And it's just impressive because for me, since I'm not like that much of a kicker, it's just nice to see different styles of fighting. And also Paola, I got the chance to fight her at Warrior Cup. All of those people, they're so fast and so aggressive, and it was just amazing to fight all the people you see always on social media, because they also have a hard time traveling to Europe because the plane tickets and everything is just so expensive, which made it so good for me because I feel like I already kind of fought all of the good girls. I'm sorry if I didn't fight anyone, and like I don't want to offend you, and I hope I get to fight everyone around the circuit. But so far, with all of the competition I've done, I feel like I fought all of the best
most of
ones.
the top competitions that you could
Yeah.
fight. Yeah, I would agree with you. Yeah.
So it was really nice to have the chance to like really fight all different styles of people, of fighters. So yeah, now I'm looking forward to fight all of them again because it's just amazing. It's so much fun to have something different from the European style of fighting.
Awesome. And Dean, what about you? Sorry.
The guys I fight is weird. They're actually like some of my best friends in the sport. So obviously Bailey's up there. I don't know if people know. Well, you might know this, Jeff, because I got you on socials. But like my preparation for coming over to Miami, like I was with Bailey for almost a week or two.
Right.
We were just repping it out. We were in Slovenia, and then also we went to Palermo. Devin was there. And we were just getting the rounds in hard. Also Ricardo Oliva was there from he fights for DKS now, and Hector was also there. So like the guys that are all the top guys. I think that's one of the most important things that I want to mention is like the people at the top collaborate now. It's not like maybe back in the day where there was needle and people were just like clashing heads all the time. Obviously, some guys are still like that, and there's nothing wrong with that. People that like to like be a bit more to themselves and stuff. But I'll give you an example. So, me, Christian, Savannah, and Steffi went for food with each other before we fought each other. At the the four of us went for food. Literally, went back to the arena, popped our gear on, all fought against each other. Like. I think now that the way the sport is moving with, you got social media playing such a big role and stuff. It's nice to be able to connect with people and go back to what you said, Alex, make that circle smaller. Is great. In terms of toughest opponents, just to give you some names then, in the US, Bailey's always going to be a tough fight. Enrique's leg is great. Who else?
On the heavyweight side, I mean,
the heavyweights, you got Christian. Christian's great. There are some guys who I haven't fought yet in the heavyweights. Like obviously Ryan Bennett's a big dude. And style wise, I think me and him would be a very interesting match.
Yeah, that would be a great match to watch.
There'd be a lot of leg in the air.
Yeah, it'd be more leg off the floor than on the floor for both of us, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I think now those like like Steffi, I've probably missed loads of people. There's so many good people, but I'm just thinking off the top of my head the guys that are doing it consistently. Like I've had some great matches with Bailey. I've had great matches with Enrique. Never managed to fight with Ryan, but yeah, I'm sure it will come. We got plenty planned in this year, and I'm sure I'll get to fight all the guys. So yeah.
Is there anybody that you have heard of in years past that you were like, I wish I would have gotten a chance to fight this person?
From the US or from anywhere?
Anywhere.
My idol growing up was Jolt Moradi, and I never got to fight him. There was one year when I was on Top 10 UK, we made the Irish Open team final in the men's team, and I was just young. And I wanted to to be my first time we fought him, and the guys were like, "Nah, you're not ready just yet." I think I was only I think I was about 17 or 18, but at the time I probably wasn't ready, to be honest.
What year was that?
Whoa, great question. Probably like 2016. I have the picture somewhere. It was like
17. I thought I think it was 2016.
Yeah, it would have been. We fought.
You guys had a good. You guys had a good like tournament.
Yeah, it was solid. To be honest, we always did well in the team events and in the individuals. The team that year was me, Elijah Everill, Kalon Page, Tom Banks, and Lewis Morrison. So it was pretty solid. And the Kirali team was Christian Jaroskiewicz, Zolt Moradi, Laszlo Gombos, Tamas Imre, and
Roland.
Roland wasn't in it that time. I think it was his brother, Richie. Yeah, it was Richie. So yeah, not a weak link in that chain at all.
No, not for all of you guys.
So no. So it was solid. We actually fought all stars before that, and we got the win. So it was good. It was really good.
Did you? I can't remember if you fought in that lineup. Did you fight in that lineup?
I will have. Yeah, I missed the final. Did I fight that one? Honestly, it was so long ago. I can't remember, but I remember. Yeah, I remember I fought with Jack. Was like my first big US name I ever fought. Jack Felton in an open weight, and he beat me up. When I was like, yeah, I think I was 16 or 17, and he beat me up.
His spacing is totally different. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
make sense. But what about you, Steph? We're talking about people that we wish we would have had the opportunity to fight if that would have presented itself for us.
Um, that's a good question for me because I've been around in the yeah, thanks. Because I've been around in the Waku circle for quite a long time. When I started watching YouTube videos back in the days in like I don't know 2012 or something, I saw Morgan Plowden and Chelsea Nash quite a lot. I wish I would have gotten the opportunity to fight both of them. Speaking of European fighters, I would have loved to fight Francesca Cecchi because I haven't had the opportunity yet.
Wow.
Yeah, because she's one
I
of
mean,
the best ones around
that
in
could
Europe.
still happen.
Yeah, it can happen. That's why I fight the open weight all the time. But I always get the people from my division first round, and she's always on the other side of the draw. So it's like very hard for me to get to her. Now that would have been class. Those are like the three fighters I would love to fight because I fought Luisa Gulotti, I fought Evelyn Nyans, I fought Shannon Ryan back in the days. Like everyone that has quite a name, I had the
Yeah.
opportunity to fight them at least once. When I started fighting at Waco, I always had like the list of people that I wanted to beat just to prove to myself that I can be the best. It worked for some. For some, it just worked in a team fight or in a grand champion fight over one round, which was still a win for me. But I wanted to fight every single one of them. So I think, like speaking from my point of view, those three are the only ones missing so far, or at least there's none that I can actually think of that I would love to fight.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's awesome.
making the list is one thing, but then actively checking it off, being like, all right, I'm not God. I can't control the outcome. But I took what I had with this opportunity and I made the most of it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. I mean, Regina Thompson did that while she was in college and said, I'm going to make this list. I'm going to go and actively go to wherever these people are and fight all of them. And she became one of the greatest in our sport. And so that's the way to do it, you know?
Yeah, because that's the only way you learn. Like, even if you lose, like, a loss has taught me way more than a win ever has. And I'm grateful for losing, actually, because it shows me that I still have to work on myself. So I take every opportunity to fight with the best people in the world, because if you want to be at the top or you want to belong to the best, you have to fight the best, no matter the outcome, just as you said.
Right. Love it. Hey, so both of you guys, all right, we talked about like your toughest opponents and maybe ones that you wanted to fight, but who were your favorite fighters growing up that you maybe modeled your style out of, or you just love watching them? Who wants to go first? Yeah.
I can go first. For me, that's a tough one because I didn't really have anyone I looked up to. I was watching fights on YouTube, but I didn't really have a favorite fighter because before Wakos, I watched the videos. I was like, oh, those guys are pretty good, but I didn't want to pick one for me because I always wanted to like pick and choose different types or like different like techniques from different fighters. And I also thought that if I idolize another person, that makes me shift my focus from myself to another person.
Mhm.
So I was always quite focusing on myself and like improving myself. Of course, you had all the big names like Raymond Daniels, all of the all stars. My old coach, Timmy Sarantudis, he was pretty close with Robbie and Raymond, and they all came over for sparring at different times, which was great opportunity for me as well. When it came to the girls, I can't remember when I switched to Waco actually. There were fighters like Henrietta Nagy from Hungary or Gemma Afro from GB that like, because back in the days, WKU, WKA, I was always winning. Like at one point you're like at the top, and then you start competing Wacos and you start losing again, and you're like, wait, what the fuck? Where are the people coming from? Like, why are they so good? And like, why am I losing by like 9 points? What the fuck is happening? And you start to question yourself, and you're like, oh my god, okay, I gotta work until I can beat those people. So those are the ones I was kind of looking forward to, like my rivals, Oh, we got along very well and we were all friends, but those were the people that actually made life very hard for me, transitioning from WKA to the Waco world. So yeah, I always kind of like looked up to the people in my division that I wanted to be, but kept the focus on myself. So I didn't really have an idol. but I was still admiring people better than me, if that makes sense.
It
I
makes
love
total
that.
sense.
That makes a lot of
And
sense.
we all struggle with that, looking at something and going, I want to be able to do that. This person is the best at that thing. I'm going to do what this person's doing so that I can do that. And then now you find yourself going, wait a minute, am I pedestalizing this person? Do I want to beat this person? And there's this constant struggle, like how
Yeah.
much energy do you give one versus the other? And
Right.
so, yeah, but
And
it's a real thing. I think you're handling it well.
No, that's great. And we see that a lot too with juniors moving up to adults, right? Of them like, all right, you may be respecting them. We always say respecting them, giving them too much respect, right?
Yep.
But a lot of times it's, wow, this is the person I looked up to. I'm finally fighting them, and I feel like, again, like what Dean was saying, now we're seeing so many of these guys training together that maybe that isn't there anymore as much if they're training with those people all the time. What do you think, Dean? What's your answer on that?
So for me, it's the complete opposite. So I had someone who I based my or tried to base my fight style on, and who I watched constantly, and it was Zsolt Muradi, and he's a right stance, right leg kicker. So I'm a right stance, right leg kicker. Watched his videos growing up, tried to copy what he did and how he does it. And then gradually, as the years went on, obviously everybody is slightly different in their body mechanics. Like obviously I'm a lot taller than he was. My legs are longer. So I have to kick in a way now that suits me, suits my frame, and scores me points. Every kicker is different, although we all throw the same kicks, and we all throw the same punches. It's about finding the time of when to use what kicks. There's about 10 different ways that you can use a side kick. Likewise with the round kick, there's different knee chambers, there's different angles that you can use. You can kick with your hips instead of just using the length of your leg. There's a number of different ways. So I basically used Zolt's sort of style to mold what I'm doing now. But I also watched people like Roman Brundle. Again, another tall guy, amazing leg, but kicks very different. But they were both super successful in doing what they did. I've been pretty successful in what I've done, especially in the last year. Things that are, they're really starting to come together since I've come back from. I had a break for 5 years. I was playing soccer, or football, we call it here. So I came back like 2 years ago, and since I come back, it's been great. Always learning new stuff, traveling more, getting to be as many places as possible. So yeah, I just try and be a sponge. Although I'm winning stuff and doing well in the sport at the minute, I still try and learn from everybody. I can learn from anybody who I spar. You spar a kid, you can learn something. You spar one of the best people, you can learn something. It might just be learning against the kid how you step off on an angle so that they don't punch your belly or whatever. It could be you're learning how to clash a leg with one of the best kickers around. There's always something you can learn. So I try and stay as humble as I can that way, and just keep working hard.
Well, I like your mindset and your approach towards your competition and your training. But I do have another question for you guys. Do you guys see yourselves ever in the future doing another type of fighting?
My answer is simple. No, I'm not interested in it at all. I like point fighting. I'll do point fighting. I'll coach point fighting eventually. I'm already starting to coach a bit. I have zero interest in. I like to watch boxing, UFC, things like that. I have zero interest in it. I have zero interest in light contact. I've been asked to fight on Total Combat. For now, I have zero interest in it. For me, it's point fighting, and that is it.
All right.
I like it direct. That was great. What about you, Stefanie?
For me, it's kind of the same. I've done different things. I've done BJJ. I've done kick live, full contact kind of things, and I enjoy it. I love all kinds of combat sports or martial arts. It's just so much fun. Especially if you can train with the guys and beat up the guys. That's my perfect part about it. But now, like in the end, it always comes back to point fighting. No matter how hard you try to get away from that discipline, it always pulls you right back in. Um, for example, there were times where I was injured and I couldn't train for 2 or 3 months, and I actually started questioning who am I without the sport. Like point
Wow.
fighting is all I've been doing for the last 23 years. I train, I compete, I travel. My circle is mostly kickboxing based. um, you really start to wonder like where would your life have gone if you wouldn't have done that sport, like all of the opportunities you got, all of the people you met and everything. It's just because that sport is so versatile. Like you have to be tactical, you have to get your timing right, you got to train speed, precision, strength. You have so many different aspects. It challenges you physically and mentally. It's like it's addicting. It's very addicting because for me, I also do weightlifting and running, but it's boring. It doesn't give you an adrenaline rush. It doesn't just like spike your heart rate as much. Like, because point fighting is so much more than just stepping on the mats and punching people. It's the nervousness before you step on the mats. It's all of the hours in the gym that you put in. It's finally beating an opponent that you never thought you'd beat. It's just like,
Mm,
and even coaching. You got
right.
those little kids growing up with you, and you can give them tips, you train with them, you coach them, and you finally see them make progress. And they're so happy and so proud. And even like coaching just like makes me emotionally more drained than fighting myself because I'm so involved with all of the emotions and everything that's going on in that sport. It's like for outsiders, like they don't know what we're talking about, but for us it's like, for me it's kind of everything. And that sounds like probably a little bit obsessed and a little bit unhealthy, but I just love the sport with all I have, and I don't see myself retiring ever. Like I will always be around in some sort of form, even if it's just coaching.
Well, I love both of your answers. I love you guys' approach. I love your mindset. And yeah, it's the reason why I like it, your approach so much is one of the things that we find as a struggle in the States is that when teenagers turn adult, some of them don't stay in their competition
Correct.
for an extended year. So like Dean, when you said like, hey, you went to go play football, soccer for a few years and then came back, like sometimes here is they don't come back. Right.
Yeah.
Life takes you on, it takes you in different ways, and then they don't find themselves back. And so
Yep.
it's a sad thing sometimes. But tell me about how that happened for you, Dean. How'd you find yourself back? Because 5 years, that's
Yeah.
it's a significant time.
Yeah, mine was so I always played, so as a kid I always played football. That was, or soccer. That was my main
Sure.
sport. So since I was like old enough to walk, I played soccer. I'm gonna call it football because that's what I call it.
Oh,
Played
football.
football,
That's fine.
played football until the age of 12, 13. And then basically my dad did martial arts, but just at like a local club, which was in Edinburgh in Scotland, about 20, 30 minutes from my house. And I always thought it was really cool when he was coming home with trophies and stuff from like the Scottish tournaments. So I was like, hey, I want to try it. As a kid, I was always really hyperactive and always not a troubled kid, but I was very hyper, and I was always busy and maybe doing stuff I shouldn't be doing and that kind of thing. So my dad thought, and my mom thought it'd be a good idea to take me to this to try and like let off some steam, some energy, and I loved it. And as soon as I fought my first competition, yeah, I won my first tournament in point fighting, which is probably what kickstarted the liking for that more so than like the light continuous. But yeah, I did that. And so what I was doing is I was doing both until I was about, so I played both until I was about 18, 19. But really seriously, the football kind of started to take over when I was about 16. I started to reach better levels and play for better clubs and things like that. You start to earn a little bit of money and stuff from playing. And then basically I decided that the kickboxing was going to go. So if I'm going to be completely honest, what happened was I had mega success as a junior in the kickboxing, and then it probably developed a bad attitude, whereas I thought I had done everything that I could, and this is me just being completely honest. I thought I had done everything that I could, and so when I was that age, winning the biggest and hardest tournaments at the time, I thought to myself like that was it, and that was me done, and it basically developed a bad attitude. So I went to football, played that for 5 years, and then I'm seeing things on because I always kept in touch with the sport because like inside that's what the passion is. The passion was never football, even though I thought it was. That was what all the boys from all my boys were doing, and that was the cool thing to do. Then you would go out after the games and stuff like that. I realized that kickboxing was what I was, one, better at, and two, was like where my heart actually was. And then so I got to the age of, would have been about 26, 27, and I thought to myself like, I've kind of reached the level where I'm going to reach with football. Like my potential's probably maxed out. I'm never going to make it to the levels where I'm earning enough money to live like a comfortable lifestyle or anything like that. So I thought I might as well go and do something that I actually enjoy before I'm too old and before I can't kick anymore. So I was like, let me go back to kickboxing, to point fighting, and it's the best decision I ever made. It's completely changed my life for the better. Not in like a deep way, but just like it's like the things I've done and experienced in the last 2 years it's
100%.
it's been incredible. I've fought in pretty much every continent that you can. Like in the last 2 years alone, I've been in America, Mexico, Asia, everywhere you can think of in Europe, all over the UK, like the Middle East multiple times. It's been crazy. It's been foot to the pedal, and it's because I've gone. I think because I missed so long, I just thought like, sod it, I'm going to chuck everything I have at it. And so I've really been foot to the gas for the last 2 years, and I don't see myself stopping because I've found a way to make it work for me. Yeah, and I'm just loving it.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. Now, both you guys, we've talked about, the accomplishments you've had, the differences of competing in, Europe and the States and everywhere else in WACO, NASCA. What is the difference, or what has it been like being coached by different people? Because I think that, especially if you're used to
That's a great
a
question.
European style of coaching, or maybe you're, well, I've only been coached by my instructor or whatever for all these years. What has that been like?
For me, it was not too much of a difference actually, because when I grew up, I was a member in 3 different kickboxing clubs, so I already had like a lot of
Right.
different coaches. Then for the German national team, the group of coaches, they rotate every now and then. So in my whole life, I already had like 20 different coaches
Okay.
that were sitting beside me, behind me. And also for a very long time of my life, my dad was the one coaching me, who didn't have anything to do with the sport. He didn't grow up. He also played soccer or football, but he was always the one traveling to competitions with me. For me, a coach is most of the times, or like the most important thing for me is mentally. So I need a coach that kind of like calms me down, because my nerves can go all over the place, especially if I know
Right.
the next fight is going to be a tough one. Um, but fighting in the States, it's amazing to have Tony Homsani sitting behind you. He knows all of the people. He knows what to tell you. He knows your skills, and he just like, I don't think I would have won that many fights without him. He's been a great coach all of the time. Just also makes you feel super safe and super comfortable on the mats. And the stuff he says works for sure, because otherwise I wouldn't have been winning so much. No, it's great. It's actually very great, and also it's good to have an American coach sitting behind you, one that knows the rules, that knows what to do, what's acceptable, what you're not allowed to do. The amount of times he shouted at me, said "nobody jab," has been ridiculously high. No, it's very good, because I think it would have been hard for a European coach to come there, especially with the rules of like not standing up on the chair, because Europeans get very heated and they just jump up and down the chair. And yeah, it's good to know that that's a penalty point and stuff like that. So it's good to have an American coach sitting behind you that really knows all the rules, so you can just like focus on yourself and focus on fighting. No, it's been great actually. I can't complain about that.
Well,
That's awesome.
Stephanie, that's a rule that's in place about not standing up because in the past in the States, we can get hot-headed, right?
Yeah.
And there's been multiple times. We had an episode like 6 years ago that was literally just called Brawling, where the whole show we just talked about how different riots happened. And so we had to be like, so like the tournaments had to go, what can we do to ensure this doesn't happen? And you can't, right? Because we're fighting each other, right? So, I mean, we'll try to penalize you if you stand up. That's about as. What else can you do? I mean, if we just decide we're going to riot, what are people going to do? We're trained fighters.
It's true. It's true. I actually thought it was going to be. It's funny you mentioned that the standing up thing. So I actually noticed because the tournaments in the US seem a little more loose to us. There's less sort of protocol. Not protocols. That's the wrong word. There's less. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I know what
Like
you're saying.
it's a bit more free. It's a bit more free flowing, isn't it? So like,
Yes.
kind of, you just do your thing. Where we in Waco, it's like you can't do this and this and this and this. So
Correct.
I thought that the coaching over there was going to be a lot more like, hey, like what the fuck? What's going on? Like you can stand up and do what you want, but it's the complete opposite. Often, like in Europe, you see coaches and they'll have a fight stopped for like 2, 3, 4 minutes at a time, just because the coach wants to battle out a point. Because as soon as the coach stands up and calls time, I mean, you're not really supposed to stand up, but you're not going to get a minus point for it. Certainly, they're not going to minus you for it. So, I actually like the way that it works in the US, where like the coaches are definitely secondary to the fighters on the tatami. In terms of the influence that they have. Like if you're going to win the fight, you're going to win the fight on your own. Whereas in Europe, if you have a really strong coach and you're, potentially against a much weaker coach, you see it a lot. The coach can have a massive sway on how the fight actually plays out. Obviously it can happen in the US too, but like in Europe, it's to the point where, if you fight someone and they have a certain someone behind them, yeah, you're fighting an uphill battle right away.
Well, I guess I would agree with everything you said too. And you guys do have Tony Hamsani, who's a fantastic coach, but there's also a lot of great coaches out there. Who are some other coaches that you're like, all right, I've never fought for this person before, but they're a pretty dang good coach. Who are some other coaches that pop into your mind that are like that?
I'll let Steffi take this one.
That's a good question, actually, because normally when I'm at the competition, I normally pay that much attention to other coaches.
Well, you will at one point. You will.
Yeah, I will probably have to. And for the next competitions, I will definitely look at that more, so I can give you a better answer, because I really don't know when it comes to coaches at the States. I can speak for European coaches.
Yeah, do it.
I feel like Christian Jaroszkiewicz is doing an amazing job as a coach. Like he always stands up for his fighters, always wants to make the most out of it, always like respecting the rules and everything.
He's incredibly
A
smart.
a lot of people get annoyed at that, which I can understand, because there's nothing more annoying if you're fighting and the coach of the other fighter makes up a scene or like tries to stop the fight just to like maybe even get your fighter a little break.
Yeah,
But
all
I
the
think
momentum's
he's doing
gone now. Sucks.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But he's like he has a purpose doing that. Um, Laszlo Gombos actually is the national team coach of Germany at the
I was going
moment.
to bring that up. Yeah.
Yes, so I've been coached by him, and it's amazing, because you can see the Kirelli mentality, and it really is a thing. Because see, the last years when we went to national team trainings, we were all taking it like not easy, but we were like chill and oh, let's have a good time, let's train together. And Laszlo came in at the first national team training, and he was like, okay, that's not acceptable. You got to kill each other. And we were like, okay, fine, you're the boss. Like they really push you to the max. Like they destroy you physically, mentally, and then they build you back up, but you come back so much stronger. So that's why I really rate the Hungarian coaches or the Kirelli coaches. Besides that, it's a good question. There are probably a lot of good coaches around there. but I think for me, those guys are the best, or the ones I would like to get coached by the most.
All right, Dean.
Dean,
Very similar.
before you answer, hang on, Dean. Before you answer, you got someone in the chat. Ben Clark is in the chat saying, Dean, if you win the U.S. Open, shave your head. Where in the world is that coming from?
I don't know.
Have you
Ben, I
guys had
already
this
won the US
conversation?
Open, bro. I already won the US Open, and the
I
hair
think
did not
he-
get shaved. It's never going to happen.
I
Never
think
going to
he's doing
happen.
like the grand. I think if you win the overall grand, the open stage, you're gonna win. You're gonna shave your head. I don't know where that's coming from. Wow.
I'll agree to it because unfortunately I can't make US Open this year. I have to be at one of the camps in Europe. But if I tell you what, if Ben wins, I'll shave my head.
I was gonna say,
Oh,
I feel
yeah.
like you're winning and be like, wait a minute. That's a hard thing to do. Why do I feel like I'm
Yeah.
getting penalized?
Yeah, I know exactly.
Maybe,
Buzz cut.
maybe if
Oh,
you win, he shaves.
He's trying to bargain now. He's saying buzz cut. He's backing up.
Let's do that.
We'll go with the buzz
if
cut.
you win, he shaves his head. If he wins, you shave your head.
Perfect.
Look at this.
Wait.
I'm bartering for you guys. But go
Yeah.
ahead. I'm sorry, Dean. Go ahead and answer your side.
In terms of the coaches, you mean?
Yes.
They're very similar. So the first one that popped into my mind was Christian. I've been lucky enough to have been on both sides. So I fought with the Kiralis in Zagreb last year, and I could hear Christian shouting from the side. And yeah, very valuable information. Amazing coach, proven track record over a number of years. I think sometimes less is more when you talk about people that have achieved so much. So don't really need to say much more. Steffi's covered it. He's awesome. His team are awesome, and they're doing well. This might be biased, but Kevin Baldwin is my coach, but also well renowned as one of the best point fighting coaches in the world. One of the head coaches at the Legend Summer Camp, which is the biggest camp in Europe. Also, a lot of the guys from the States will come over and train at this camp. Maybe use this as just a bit of information for people in the States who will listen to this. I know certainly Ben, who's listening, is looking to come over. If any guys or like women want to come and train with all of the best people in Europe, that's the place to do it. We will all be there in there at the same time. It's from, I think, the very start of July till it's like the 10th or 12th, I think, maybe just later. But yeah, great place to go. So yeah, Kevin Baldwin for sure, extremely analytical. So like
This is in Scotland.
Yeah, he's from Scotland, but he's also a director and one of the coaches for Kickboxing GB. He was a top 10 UK coach. Yeah, anybody that knows point fighting in Europe knows Kevin. Also, you have to give kudos to a guy from Italy called Roberto Capogna.
Yeah.
So he runs the Red Devils team. So if you look through that team, especially the females, every single division, they have a beast in that division. Like they have champion at 50, they have 55, they got 60, they got 65. Like, and this is the weight divisions in WACO, like minus 50, 55.
Minus 55.
Yeah, they have an amazing athlete in every division. Also, if you want to look at the guys, I'm not going to rattle off all the names, but you have one of their standout guys is in minus 69, Federico. He is awesome. The way that you see these guys train on social media as well, they just constantly training super explosive stuff. So the plyometrics that these guys have are ridiculous. And if you ever want to see fast, explosive fighters in Europe, he's probably the school you want to look at. Red Devils in Italy, they're very strong. Roberto is also a coach at that camp. He's a national team coach for Italy. So that's probably three of the best. There will be others for sure, but there's three of the top coaches in Europe right now for sure.
Well, you brought up the speed, and I think you mentioned two names that I think are some of the fastest fighters I've ever seen with my eyes or had the opportunity to experience. And that was Timi Sarantudis. Timi Sarantudis might be the fastest fighter I've ever seen. All right. Just an overall, like, I don't think his blitz is as fast as Elijah Everill's, but as far as like a fighter, like that, he don't stop moving. All right. And then the other one would be Laszlo Gambos. All right. I think that guy's just overall, they're just speed.
So fast.
Well, you guys
Yep.
you guys have impacts and influence from these guys. What's that been like? What is that training? Training with Laszlo sounds exhausting.
Training with both of them is a hassle. I have been training or was training at Timmy's from 2014-15 to the beginning of this year. So I experienced Timmy at his prime, and
I
it
would
was
say
just like you said. Yeah, he never stopped moving. He was the most annoying fighter to fight because you blitzed
Don't
him,
let him
but he
get
was
ahead.
always like you blitzed him because he was in front of you. But as soon as you like started your blitz, he was already there. Like trying to hit him was so hard. But if you can hit him, best thing in the world, then you know you can hit anybody. But also his front hand, like the amount of back fists I took to the head that I didn't even see coming, uncountable, honestly. But those sessions were the best ones I ever had because we live very close to each other. So every time I could just be like, hey, I got to work late today. Can we meet up at like 6 a.m. and train? And he was like, all right, let's go. He was the best because we always pushed each other to the max. Like those training sessions were intense, but they were so, so good. Timmy was and still is an unreal fighter. He jumps in every now and then and still shows that he has it. It's great. And when it comes to Laszlo, I fought him when he was done competing already. So I was always like, come on, old man, let's have a round, let's spar, just like to provoke him a little bit because he was always standing on the sideline, just like trying to destroy us, but he never really actually jumped in. So I wanted to fight him because I never got the chance when he was in his prime or when he was still competing. So one day he finally had enough and was like, okay, fine, let's go. And the funny thing with Laszlo is because he's standing very upright when he fights, you don't expect an attack and then boom, X kick to the face or just like bam, another blitz. And you're like, where is that coming from? It's unreal. It's crazy. I don't know how these guys do it. I want to be like them when I grow up or just like in the next couple of years, that will be unreal. Now, if you ever or if people ever get the chance to train with them, go for it. That's the best thing you can ever do. You will learn so much from it because they have so much knowledge, so much experience. Yeah, just unreal. Like it really made me improve a lot as a fighter.
Yeah, I think I agree with everything you said, and I
Mhm.
think Laszlo's a very frustrating person to have to face in competition or just face in general. He's very frustrating because he makes it very challenging for you to like get a rhythm, get traction, try to set things up. Like he frustrates you, and he's also skill wise, might be a bold statement. I think skill wise, as far as the things that he can do, he's the best Corrali fighter that there's been. I think he can do more things than even Zolt, right? And I think Christian's the most decorated, fighter of all of Corrali. But I think Laszlo's so versatile. But hey,
Yeah.
it's just this old timer talking.
I'd agree in terms of like complete. I would say so. I mean, they could all do everything.
They can all
Probably
do it
still,
all.
yeah. But I mean,
Well, no,
in match,
Tomas cannot do it all. Tomas cannot kick. He will also.
yeah, true. But consistently in tournaments, I think Laszlo, you would bank your money on him to score the most variety of different techniques, hands and legs. I would agree.
Yeah, definitely.
This has been so fun hanging with you guys. You guys
It's
are
been
great.
cool.
Let's not just make this one time. I know you guys are. I don't know how you're doing this conversation. What is it like 4 or 5 in the morning now?
Yeah.
Coffee, brother.
I know.
So when's the next time we're going to see you guys in the States?
We're planning to be at Battle. So on the calendar, we have Battle, we have Amerikick, we have Diamonds, we have, what else do we have?
You're hitting it right there.
Yeah. Tony has a hard and fast schedule, and he wants us to be there and taking what we can. So we're ready.
Battle. You got
I love
Amerikick. You got Diamonds. I think you're set. And then you already did AKA and Rhode Island. I mean, that's the only
And
thing.
Pan Ams.
And Pan Ams. You guys are doing it. You guys are doing more than some of the guys that you'll see around here. So, and you're coming from a significant distance away. So I would say you guys are are ready for more competition. Trust me, all the guys here, we want to see you guys, but I know them, they want to beat you. So
Right.
this
Of
is gonna be
course.
exciting.
Of course. And what's the next big Waco tournament you guys have in Europe?
Yeah.
So we can watch. as well.
I think it's the Hungarian World Cup, the Hungarian Kickboxing World Cup. That's probably the biggest one that's yet to come. That one
August,
will
right?
be in August, exactly. Before that, I got the German nationals that I have to compete at for qualifying for the national team, and we also have Flanders Cup in Belgium in the end of June, I think. And then, just as Dean said, we're going to do the summer camps in July, and that will be pretty much it. And also, we got the European Championships coming up in November. Yeah, pretty full calendar, but we're looking forward
Pretty
to it.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna be a big deal. You guys are just
Yeah.
training and competing all year long.
Alex,
Exactly.
you say I'm going all the time. Like these guys are as well.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Jeff doesn't stop. Jeff's 68 years old, and he's not, but but Jeff, he doesn't stop competing. Like it doesn't make sense. Jeff's in his mid 40s, and he's just like, I'm not gonna stop. He just did another tournament last weekend where he did 5 grand championships he was fighting in one tournament. Like that's
Crazy.
ridiculous. It's nuts.
I think I've seen you every time I've been over, Jeff. To be honest, everywhere I've been, you've been, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, man, it's been great to meet you guys, and we're excited to see you. Battle of Atlanta is again one of my favorite tournaments. That's a tournament that a lot of us in the States, that was probably the first big tournament that everyone, like the legends came to, right? And the one that everyone wanted to win. and I mean, old timers in the South still say, if you win the Battle of Atlanta, you die and go to karate heaven. Okay, that's what they tell me all the time. All right, so there you go. You get a you're going to a big tournament with a lot of great fighters, and just it's just the energy is going to be different. And like you both said, you love it. So I'm excited to see you guys thrive.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us on too. And yeah, we're looking forward to it. Hopefully finish the year strong, and then we'll be back next year too. So you'll see a lot of us.
I love it.
Next time we'll try and meet you guys in the middle. Next time you guys come on the show, maybe we'll do a tape delay. It won't be live, so we can get you at a normal waking hour.
For me, it's perfect. As soon as we finish the call, I will go to work. Easy as that.
Oh, well, then fine. We'll just keep doing this. Sorry, Dean.
All right, guys. Y'all have a great rest of your day, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you, guys. See you soon.
Thanks for
This
having
has
us.
been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys next week. Peace.